Play. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, again, we'll greet Babitha that is actually active on Twitter. I don't know what time is it in India now, but she's like super mad at us. Yeah, yeah, it's quite late. Yeah. Well, I'm honored actually to talk even with a short amount of time in order to prepare the presentation about. Yeah, it's amazing. It's like perfect. It's perfect. And yeah, oddly enough, we are like finishing several um, contents. So I'm actually using you as a guinea pig to check if videos and things are working fine. So happily criticize and uh, propose ways to better explain complex topics in a way. There is a company of a Spanish company, one of the few companies I have to say that have been talking about massive IoT on under an agricultural point of view. It's I don't know if you know it. It's Libellium. It's from Spain, and you know about IoT application. They like are super horizontal on any level. It's interesting in these graphics. Everything starts from the far sea and goes on up until the buildings. It doesn't go within the buildings where our houses are. We all know like computers have been shrinking and the average amount of uh, IoT devices, so-called anyway, computers, microcontrollers at some point, it's increasing. Nowadays should be like around four. I'm under the average, but I guess there are some people pulling the number up. And this is a white. Wow, is actually not doing anything else. Is this white? Can you PDF? Just, it's strange. It is actually. Yeah. Can you just open from the USB because it was working from the USB?
Carry on talking.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, what we did actually, we started this project in 2015, based on a conversation between me, a science fiction writer who is living in Turin, a good one. I mean, a famous one. I've heard of him before I actually met him, and then I started reading his books. He's called Bruce Sterling. He is also a very full of opinions wife called Jasmina Tezanovic, and actually the project Casa Jasmina is after her name. And the two of us started talking about having a testing bed for technologies and for design. So we actually explained this story to Toolbox Co-working, which is a building not far from this one. Ah, this one is working now. Not far from this one is a post-industrial building in Turin. And we also talked about this project to Massimo Banzi from Arduino, and we managed to make this happening from 2015 on. So the project has now uh, 2 years, 2 years and a half, and we are kind of growing old now. So we are starting to become a mature project. We are shifting away from Arduino. Now the URL is casajasmina.arduino.cc. We are like launching the new site, which is going to be very close to the old site, but with a new URL, and changing several stuff in the next few months. Anyway, one of the big question that if you go to CES, you see a lot of connected fridges, but apparently these fridges, they're not appearing in our houses. I mean, you see them in a lot of TV advertisements. There is like a Tumblr uh, that collects all these stories about people looking for very connected fridges. This guy is changing the fridge because Google Calendar is not hooking up well correctly. It's like strange people. But the real question is, why do we want connected devices, and who are they sending this information to. And this is one of the main topics about unhealthy IoT. Um, like John said, there is a very huge market. I mean, maybe some people may wrong numbers, but apparently there is a very, very big market around IoT that makes a lot of big players interested in developing very inexpensive devices, um, maybe expensed under their very own price in order to be more uh, powerful and enter in our houses. And there is an upcoming, an ongoing DIY market. And DIY here is not I solder it myself, but I buy it from Walmart and I install it myself. So a lot of people are getting acquainted in installing IoT device in their homes. Not many of them are aware of what and on which technology is that IoT device based on. Yeah, big players, Google Home, HomeKit, Google, at the very time of this slide, Google have just bought Nest. You have a lot of other DIY bottom-up tools like all of you know If This Then That or Zapier, uh, Twine, and so on. One of the big problems of IoT to us is that you have many interesting IoT devices, but most of them, they rely on a very specific app. So I was eating lunch this week with a friend of mine who sells computers, and he's one of, like, he's the average geek guy, and he showed me his page on the iPhone where he had like 8 different apps controlling 8 different uh, profiles of his home, like the security app, the heating system, several U Philips lights, so the one in the bathroom, the one in the dining room. Yeah, it was like that. It wasn't planned. And he said me, oh, look, light, interactive home. And I said, yeah, interactive home in like in your mobile phone. It's not interactive. It's like, as I was saying in this slide, is Internet of Things, one thing at a time. You don't have like a conversation between things, and also a conversation between people living the house, because you don't have, maybe we're going to end up living by ourselves in very small houses like monks, but maybe, but most of the time we share our space with other people. And what's one of the trends I've seen in the last 1 year, 2 years maybe, is like companies buy each other, which is normal and it's also healthy in a way. But the point is that products that were bought by people, as soon as these companies are bought, they, like in fairy tales, they turn from products to services and they switch off. So you end up having like a pumpkin again. People bought the Revolve home um, home hub, like it was an home assistant hub for the house, but it was bought by Nest, by Google, and they switched it off. So apparently, like as I heard, as I read, within like few weeks, they shut it off from the internet. No loyalty towards customers that bought, it was a quite expensive device. And the same happened with Fitbit, apparently. Fitbit buying Pebble, so the Pebble people, the Pebble customers, they're going to end up having at least a clock, at least, if the offline mode is preserved. So this is one of the things that really bugs me. Okay, or it's a trend that we were like listening to it, and it's really unhealthy to us. And like coming back to what Peter was saying at the very beginning of this presentation, as practitioners, we don't apply to this. We totally against this, disagree, this is wrong. And we are like working, if we were to make a house, and that's what we did a home, the home have to be like preserved from this, because the home, like like I'm not going to make any laughing thing here, sorry. I was okay, not near. Okay, like the home is our private life, and then there is the common life, the public life, which may become in the towards these things, but our private life is not is not going in this direction. There is another trend which like influenced us a lot lately, which is the messaging platform, the chatbots and the conversational UIs. Like 2 years ago, we started reading on Reddit, Hacker News, and other ways we used to perceive the world, and we started more and more seeing people creating their very own bots and automatize the way they live into scenarios in landscapes, the office, the many other, I mean, apparently from this light, which is optimistic in a way, but everything is going to shift on mobile um, chatbot or messaging platforms. But I mean, even though it's an evil picture, it's an interesting 11 reason why bots are going to like become the new apps. I just underline 3 of them. Bots are a lot easier to install than mobile apps, indeed. Bot interaction are intrinsically bidirectional, and humans are innately hardwired for language and conversation. So I started build my very own bots. I'm not a coder. I mean, I'm not a very good coder. So those bots were mostly useless. But I have friends that are very good, and they built a bot to automatize our Fab Lab because we have a very huge Fab Lab, and also the house. So lately we ended up making bots working with this interesting house. We have in Turin, this is Bruce, by the way, the curator of the project, Bruce Sterling. These are all our partners and supporters. And like, I mean, Casa Jasmina is like a crossroad between design, digital fabrication, and open source hardware tools. The idea was that besides the exhibition space and testing technologies, which is like rather normal in fake houses where you can like test and show people how things work, like the fridge or the kitchen. The thing is that the house is real, so you can rent it on Airbnb. So it's not fake. Yeah, and the point is that it's like, yeah, this is one of the first bot we made with with a platform that is actually based here in Berlin, even if it's from Russia, Telegram. And Telegram, to me, was the first app that developed very friendly APIs to build bots. And that's why for like 1.5 years, we had our bots hosted on Telegram. And then we thought, well, it's not fair, but if we want to respect the very practitioner thing we said before, it's not fair to host and talk to the APIs and have everything, all the conversation hosted on Telegram server, even if we like trust the Telegram server or not, who knows. We shifted and moved them to a self-hosted bot framework called WhoBot. Is a framework released by GitHub. Anyway, so, I mean, in this, like Tommaso is a friend of us. Some of you know Tommaso, was controlling, he was testing to how to control his thermostat. It's in Italian, and he's like faking to be a bot, which is the rule one when you make a bot. You have to talk to him like a bot. So what we did, besides shifting to Telegram, was to add a layer, a language processing layer, to teach this bot to talk in a human way. Because you can't chat 20, temp, stop, start, set temp, 28, stop, closing connection. No, well, it's like, can you warm up a bit? Or I'm cold. Okay, I'm chilling. I mean, I'm putting up something hot, more. So and basically, since we are in Italy and most of the people living there, it's Italian, we are training this bot in Italian, which makes the, the mission even more. But we are like accomplishing the mission. And we also chose at the end of the game, we chose also a framework where to send all this data, because the other assumption was where do all those different apps talk to, because there isn't a common ground where all these apps go to, and we found one. Actually, the guys from Emon CMS advised me to go to that. Do you know Emon CMS? It's a very old, 8, 10 years framework for agricultural and power consumption management from England. And they passed to find us, and we had like a dinner in Turin, and we were talking about home automation, open source home automation frameworks, and I was like waiting several options, and they advised me to go to Home Assistant. And I have to say, I am really happy about this framework. And this is like a fake or maybe a true, I don't know. It's not our dashboard, but it's a dashboard. And as tailors, we were able to, lately we were able to sue to hardwire this approach with all the other system we developed to specific and special needs. For example, for ill people with special needs in a very special house where they need to be monitored in several things they do. And it's really flexible approach, so you can like create widgets and having several sensors talking in different protocols, talking to Home Assistant. Yeah, that's very messy and colorful. A lot of colors there. Anyway, I'm going to show you a video now. If you have any question about the technical side, I guess we can go afterwards with beers and geeky chat. I'm going to show you the the video we made, which is like to have you to picture in your mind how it's like this place, but it's like, of course, a video. It's just a video, and this is the entrance. Is able to you? It stopped. Your computer is make me. Oh, well, it's not playing. Anyway, like for example, from this picture, from this frame, you see this keyless. It's people that they gifted us their locking system. So what we are trying to do is going to IoT or technology home appliances producers and telling them, okay, do you want us to review your product or to check if it's compliant? We were talking with David today about how to analyze devices and set, like, maybe it would be interesting to have a degree of compliancy of an IoT device. Is something we don't do right now, but it would be interesting to like give some kind of number of value of a product. So we managed to hook up this keyless thing, and it's also hookable and controllable via bot and via dashboard. So you see this is a web interface of the dashboard. Cristina and Alessandro, this guy, you find him in Milano for Salone. We are working on a presentation about Casa Jasmina in Salone. They are pretending, I mean, actually at the end they ate. We also have 3D printers on the kitchen, but printing tower sensors, allowing us to set humidity and temperature, so you can like have some kind of communication. And we managed to have this U-bot bot having several adapters, so we can have the U-bot talking to Facebook Messenger, Telegram, WhatsApp, Hallo, WeChat. It's very easy to create an adapter for any kind of chat. And of course, yes, it's on Airbnb. If you pass by, you either write me and we can host you, or you can hire the place on Airbnb and rent the place on Airbnb. Thank you so much.